King Kong returns in an all-new animated series on Netflix, Skull Island. Let's see if this new series is worth your time. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Netflix. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. Shipwrecked in the South Pacific, explorers encounter a group of fearsome creatures, including a giant ape known as Kong. Netflix's animated series took a very popular character of King Kong and really didn't do much with him. And this is a bit of a disappointment.
This is a damn shame.
You would think that a Netflix series titled Skull Island would have more monsters interacting with each other rather than a lot of storylines for humans. And I understand the human characters exploring the island and adjusting to it. Very similar to Kong Skull Island, the movie. But the monsters within here, including King Kong, really felt like they were just here and there. Like they had some stories, but they weren't the main part of the series. It was more focused on the human characters, their time on the island and trying to get off the island, which I think could work if it was more. I think it could work if it was minimal, but it's a lot of the series. And I frankly don't really care much about these human characters. None of them had a redeeming quality to them. None of them were likable. I could care less about the characters involved. I wanted to see the monsters. When I watch Kong, I want to see the monsters. When I watch Godzilla, I want to see Godzilla. I don't want to see a bunch of human characters and have developing stories throughout. That doesn't seem appealing to me in any form, animated or live action. Here in Skull Island, we have a lot of different characters and stories that meet up with each other, and there's just a lot of them. Skull Island focuses on our group of human characters, Charlie, Annie, Mike, Cap, and Irene, and they all have conflict with one another that takes up a bulk of the series. The characters lack depth, and their interactions with the monsters are very thin. There are a few characters that have a bond with some of the monsters, but for the most part, they're off by themselves doing things, and a couple human characters here and there are interacting with the monsters. The series explores many different storylines, including explorers who rescue Annie, which leads them to Skull Island. There's also this complicated relationship between father and son, but none of the storylines were appealing and interesting. The show hinted at the struggle of power on Skull Island between sea monsters and Kong, and that's ramped up like the last 2 episodes, and there was a lot of potential to have a lot of conflict on the island of all the monsters fighting for power. And when we got towards the end, I liked the last couple episodes because that's what I wanted the series to be, is looking at the struggles between these monsters and them trying to have the power and fight against each other. That was a lot of fun, but I wanted the whole series to be like that. And so we have a show that is teasing Kong, but we don't really get him in here. The show is not really focused on Kong at all. We have him kind of towards the end, and the show tries to add this whole new layer to Kong, and then we have some action scenes at the end, and that is about it. So we have a lot of buildup of our human characters, their interactions, some monsters here and there, and then them trying to get off the island. And then it wasn't until like the later half of the series that they drop Kong into it all. The animation is fun with decent human designs. There's some darker moments to capture the feel of the island. The island does feel intimidating with the characters constantly moving locations to stay safe, and all of the monsters within it. When we have those big action scenes, the animation does work, and it's swift with a lot of the fast-paced moments. But overall, Skull Island failed to capitalize on these large creatures that inhabit this island and exploring it. It was more focused on the human characters and their stories, and at times a few of them interacted with the monsters and seeing how they were able to create this bond between some monsters and some humans. But for the most part, It's a series that is lacking any entertainment. It's a decent series, but it isn't one that, but I expected something very different when it came to this series. If you are interested in watching a show about humans that arrive on Skull Island and watching them trying to survive and get off the island, then this may be for you. But if you're looking for a show about Kong, myself, I was interested in Kong as he is front and center in the poster. It's not titled Kong Skull Island. It's just a show centered on Skull Island. So you are going to have various monsters throughout, but not even just Kong. I wanted more monsters. I wanted urgency and the threats there, and large creatures roaming the island and watching the humans try to stay safe. There was glimpses of that, but they could have done a lot more with it. So before I give you my score for Skull Island, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit the subscribe button and get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give Skull Island a C+. Thank you guys for checking out my review for Skull Island, the new Netflix animated series. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.